Now to the attack on Ukraine, a California couple whose daughter was born via surrogate in Ukraine February 22nd is feeling blessed today that they managed to make it out of the country.
But it was a harrowing journey. The bombing in Kyiv began just 2 days after their daughter's birth. They got a driver to take them to the Polish border. A drive that normally would take about 8 hours ended up taking 27 hours.
They spoke to CBS about what came next.
We got to the border and I thought, oh my gosh, we're almost to the border, things will get better. But we sat in the same spot at the border from 2 a.m. to 9 a.m., so 7 hours, and our car didn't move at all. That's when my husband and I decided to get out and walk. And we walked 8 miles based on Apple Maps. And each time it was just worse and worse and worse. And there were kids in cars, people kept camping out in cars, the cars weren't moving. The engines were turned on. It smelled like gas everywhere.
By the time I made it up to the gate, only women and children were allowed to pass. There were thousands upon thousands of people continuing to arrive, and the situation was continuing to get more volatile, and people were getting more desperate, especially when the air raid started in Lviv, when you could hear the bombings happening just within earshot. That really drove up the amount of despair and sense of urgency to try to escape the border. We're overwhelmed that we're in a position of safety now. There's also a sense of guilt for being able to escape and knowing that we're gonna be okay. We've got our home and our daughter to go back to, while so many others we know are still struggling to escape or have nowhere else to go, and they want to live free, and they do not want this war.
Oh, how scary, escaping Ukraine with a newborn. As for their surrogate, her apartment was bombed in the days after Russia invaded. They say luckily she is safe and back in her home village with her own family.
The couple plans to bring their new daughter home this coming week as soon as they can get a flight out of Poland.